falls out slowly and goes in between the stones and it's crushed between the two stones. To grind cornmeal, the stones are fairly close together. And you can raise and lower those stones. To grind grits, you just raise them a little higher and grind it a little coarser. And once you grind it, if you grind grits, it's cornmeal mixed in it. Mr. Joe Holly, that used to help us here at the museum, made this sifter for us, separator.
Now, what's the difference between grits again? I missed
Just
that.
coarser grain.
The coarse of the grain?
No, same grain, just coarser
So
grain.
you could take cornmeal and blow it for grits?
No,
No.
because it's too fine grain.
Oh, it's too fine. It wouldn't be.
See, you grind, it's the same out of corn, but it's ground coarser.
Okay.
And here they ground the whole grain,
Okay.
which means it has a germ, the little center part in it.
Girls, y'all get back over here before you
It has
fall.
all the nutrition. Now look, if you go buy cornmeal at the store, you'll see it says on it enriched. What that means, they put some back in to take out the nutrition they took out of it to start with.
Yeah.
This is ground from whole grain. It's more healthy for you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Before they had refrigeration, it will go rancid in the summertime after a while. So,
No, my dad, a long time ago, I can remember my daddy having corn
well, see,
meal.
it was pretty critical to go to the mill before you had refrigerators in so often and get fresh meal.
I think my dad just did that because
But look, I grew up going to,
because he had done it when he was younger.
well, I grew up going to Mr. Bethune in Castleberry. Had a corn mill, had a grist mill, a sawmill, and a feed mill. And so I loved to go down there and hang out on Saturdays when they ground the cornmeal. And my daddy grew corn, and he liked to have his own corn ground.
That's what my daddy was.
I grew up doing that.
He did it because he could, I guess.
Well, this was a vital part of this community, and this was also a gathering place. People came, you know, they didn't have many activities unless they went to church where they could all gather and socialize. And so this was, you know, on Saturdays, now it was mostly men, there wasn't a lot of women.
Yeah.
But the kids sometimes could come and they could play in the creek or fish, you know.
Or play with one another.
Yeah, kind of play with each other. So this was a vital part of the community here. And it was kind of a necessity because people raised their own food. It wasn't stores. You didn't run down to Winn-Dixie or Walmart and buy your groceries. You raised them. And so you could grind it coarse and you could feed it to chicken.
This much here just starts slammed to death. They had to depend on.
If y'all got any
Somebody
questions, I'll try to answer them now.
Y'all got any questions?
He's got his hand. That's a sharpening stone, like you sharpen the axe and
Sharp
turn it by hand. Or that little can on top, you put water in it and drips down to lubricate wet stones. And you turn it, you can sharpen your knife or your axe.
The water's too low to be spinning the mill right now.
We hope you get it running if it won't.
I don't think it was running last year or 1 year. Well, I've seen it running before.
Yes, sir. I don't know.
Might have been somebody that worked here.
Where you see them at? I don't know.
Up there on that beam.
Well, they may be antique. Listen, right above y'all's head, there's a little sign on this beam. There used to be a chicken snake living in here. Now, chicken snakes or rat snakes, they had a problem with rats and stuff because they had grain and stuff. So they wouldn't let anybody harm the chicken snake or the rat snake, and it lived on that beam. Now, when I was working up here, I had a cat that lived in the mill house. And I was out in the park one day, and I was working on something, and there was a young couple came in here, and I didn't see them come, and I heard a woman scream. And of course, I couldn't run, but I hobbled over here to fight it. And when I got here, they were just laughing. She was reading that sign about the snake, and the cat was laying on the beam, and it jumped off about that time.
What does the sign say?
Scared her to death.
It says that the snake used to live up on top of this beam.
And you couldn't mess with the snake.
Yeah, they didn't want you to harm
The
the
snake was
snake.
more
Now.
important than you were.
It was in charge of road
It ate you,
control.
it just ate you.
There, that
Yeah,
sign?
yeah.
But it's all written down.
Yeah, and it's written too small for Miss Gash to see.
What's that?
You don't have it.
That is the mill. This is where they ground the corn. This is what I was telling you.
But if you get up there, you're going to fall in that hole, and I'm not coming after you.
There's two stones in here. The bottom stone called the bed stone. The top stone called the runner. And when it's running, it turns round and round. and the corn falls down in there and it's crushed clean. This is a little fan and if there's any debris in it or trash, it blows it out. Yeah, but be careful and don't get your fingers in any of that. Yeah. Those are turtle shells there.
Where's the, thing that turned?
It's a turbine underneath and water.
I can remember.
Hey, I can see the bird over here.
That's a peanut shell that came out of Connecticut County. When the farmers grew peanuts, they had the shell, and they could take them to the mill and have peanut shell.
And this ain't not my class.
Listen, if y'all over at Leo, y'all know where Murder Creek is now.
Yeah, they know.
Look, this is a Murder Creek turtle. This is a loggerhead snapping turtle. Weighs 72 pounds. Mine weighs a bunch.
Hey, not much, but not right.